Hello, everyone. I wish you all a very happy and prosperous new year. I'm sure many of us would have made our new year resolutions. If our resolutions have to come true, then we may have to cultivate some effective habits, some new habits, and we may have to let go of habits that are not really helping us. We are going to discuss about the neuroscience of cultivating and letting go of habits. This is part one. Whatever I am sharing is based on the works of Dr. Andrew Huberman, who is a neuroscientist and professor at the Stanford School of Medicine. What are habits? Well, habits means our nervous system learning something consciously or unconsciously. Now, what is learning? Learning is neuroplasticity. Let's try and make it simple. Neuroplasticity is nothing but the change in connections between neurons in our brain. Neurons are nerve cells. When the connection happens between the neurons, we are forming a neural circuit. If a neural circuit is formed and if it gets strengthened, that means we have cultivated a habit and we will be able to sustain it. So habits are nothing but if there is a strong habit, that means a strong neural circuit has been formed. Now, what prevents us from sustaining the habits? I'm sure many of us would have come across the popular literature which says it takes 21 days for us to cultivate new habits. I'm sure you would have also read about it. However, peer-reviewed research shows that it may take anywhere between 18 to 254 days for someone to cultivate a new habit. It may depend on the person, it may depend on the type of the habit they want to cultivate. Now, what prevents us from sustaining the habits? There is something called as limbic friction. Now, what is this friction about? Imagine there is some problem going on at your workplace. You're really anxious about it. There are so many things going on in your head. You will not be able to carry out the activity that is required for you to strengthen that habit, cultivate that habit, right? So you may be too anxious, or you may be too tired, or you may be too lazy, or you may be not motivated at all. So if you are in any one of these states, it acts as a friction and we are not able to sustain and strengthen the habit. Now, how do we overcome this limbic friction? One of the ways we can do it is to tap into something called as our procedural memory. Now, what is procedural memory? As far as memories are concerned, there are two types. One is episodic memory, other one is procedural memory. Now, episodic memory is nothing but memory of various incidents that have happened in our life. Like what happened when we went to office yesterday, what happened when we went to that function, what happened when we went for that vacation last year, and so on. Procedural memory is like a recipe. It's about the sequence of steps that are required to perform any activity, like steps involved in carrying out a programming, steps involved in repairing your equipment, steps involved in writing a particular article, steps involved in creating a PowerPoint presentation, and so on. Now, how do we tap into this procedural memory? We need to visualize the sequence of steps for the activity which we want to cultivate as a habit. For example, imagine you want to cultivate the habit, you want to strengthen the habit of going for a walk every day. You have to visualize the steps involved. When I say visualize, you don't even have to close your eyes and visualize. You can just recall the sequence of steps that are involved in carrying out that activity, like wearing your t-shirt, putting on your shoes, getting out of your house, opening the gate, and so on. Just mentally recall the steps involved in performing that activity. When we do that, there is a higher probability for us to overcome the limbic friction, and there is a higher probability for us to strengthen that neural circuit. There are other tools available to cultivate and sustain new habits and let go of old habits, which we will discuss in the next part. Till then, take care. Thank you so much.